Okay, so Monday leg day, very disoriented. So let me get my earphones so I can listen to a podcast. And that's true. I listen to a lot of spiritual stuff, some esoteric knowledge, because I feel like we are spiritual beings currently having a human experience. So what that means is that if we want to get the most out of life, we should we should aim to know deep spiritual stuff, because those things actually control our life. So I'm just so I'll be listening to him, and then I feel like he's a very nice source. And this particular series he did, right, and bro, the way he was interweaving these ideas together was insane. And then, which is which is where I think that's something I think I really like. Just take up one idea and look for how to connect the dots. So this morning, while I was scripting my content, I ran into some problems, right? The fact that one, I was supposed to give a story, and sometimes that story does not entirely. It passes the message quite alright, and sometimes it passes the wrong message. Good morning. Good morning. So I figured that okay, fine. If I'm to improve my storytelling skills, I think I might have to do both, right? I'm going to have to give the version where I have no stories. I'm going to give the version where I have no stories. I'm going to give the version where I have stories. And so I'm supposed to hit. So 200 kg is supposed to be what? It's supposed to be 90, right? 90 will end up giving me like 4 plates and 10. This is 4 plates. So I want to aim to get to 210 ish. Yeah, 210. So I took a pause, but I want to use myself. Then he got listen to it on the way. So one thing about this guy is that he dropped like a lot of nuggets here and there. So I can only tell you based on the last one I heard. I can't basically tell you everything. If not, that will require me sitting down and dissecting every single thing, which is completely, which is not even going to happen, which is not even possible. But it says something about that. Everything we do, everything we do starts from a thought. I can't remember the exact book it's called it from, but a lot of people might see this and they will agree with it. But then again, they will not actually realize that they should actually caution their thought process. Because their thoughts run as wild as possible. Everything. Let their thoughts run wow. I mean wow, like aggressive. And you keep wondering how and why. But I think people don't believe this whole idea of love attraction. Knowing that their thoughts control their life. So their thoughts control their life. And it's not the active thought that control the life, it's the subconscious thoughts. The thoughts that we have talked about without even knowing. Like it takes in most cases it takes somebody who can objectively look at things and say, oh, okay, this is happening in my life, and I think I need to fix it. Most people never get to that level. They stay on the they stay on the lower level of life where they just keep feeling bad and paying therapists. If you ask me, like, therapy, if you ask me, is it's not the best thing, like because most of the time the therapist knows that the answer they are looking for is within. Wow. So, the therapist knows that the solution is mostly within the individual. But the therapist telling the individual that, oh, the answer is within. Just learn to forgive, learn to understand, learn to detach, and have a positive goal you are aiming towards. If I tell them this, they wouldn't believe because the mind loves enjoys to create constructs, right? And I was saying yes. So after a while, I catch myself doing this until I remember this thing of the simpler it is, the better. When I catch myself trying to make things complex, all in a way of stroking my ego, then I get the point, and then I begin to self-correct. So, simple advice that if you ever see yourself making something complex, that's why, that's the reason just I create like this because this is supposed to be like a journal for me, right? Where I get to check my thought process. So yesterday, I set a goal of having a million audience this year. Having an audience of a million people engage, people who are coming and are seeing genuine value from it. So I asked myself, is this possible? Yeah, it's very possible. People have done it, right? And so how can I achieve such a thing? So kept on thinking of ways, creating high crafted videos, doing a lot of editing. And I realized that, okay, if I make 6 videos every single day, almost every day rather, with the algorithms really push my stuff to a million people or 10 million people, then, yeah, good morning. Yes. If the algorithms push my stuff to a million, or for me to have a million, right, I most likely might end up having to have reached about 200, about 10 million averagely. I see it more like a sales funnel, although it's not exactly accurate. But like a sales funnel, I mean, I need to have been pushed about 10 million, so that means I have to keep dropping valuable tips, how to increase my storytelling tips. So the 1 million audience might be like a waste of time. What I see there is that for me to attract 1 million people, it means that I have something, I'm improved my storytelling skills. Everyone should. Must have improved the way I speak. I must have improved the way I look. So it's more by personal journey than a egotistic one. Right, so I trying to set myself up to get my ex. So this particular, this place in Baltimore where Dane says nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. It felt modified my statement. It felt like order. And it felt said nobody cared who I was. So I was invincible. And then I was invincible. Then so I put on the mask to prove that nobody cared. Now I put on the mask. All of a sudden, everybody cares. Whenever somebody talks about how men are wearing a mask to prove a point of masculinity, I think I might send them that clip. Of them saying that. Damn. I'm going 5 shots of this. It's just to increase strength. So yes, Every time to everyone, argument ends with them. What it basically means is the fact that when you're idle, you get to have, like, if you're familiar with my content, you get to realize that I talk about Buddhism from time to time, and Buddhism says life is suffering. You have two options. It's either you choose your suffering or the suffering which gives you unnecessary pain God bestows onto you. I really wish I'm looking for more ways for people to understand this concept about life. Oh boy. The unknown is where growth resides. Oh. The irony is that we keep hearing this thing, right? Yeah. But it's because we keep looking for a safe path, which is completely normal. It's normal to us to want to see a safe path. But the unknown gives us the largest growth. And it's really it's just like when I keep hearing that the people who we see to be the greatest, they have discovered a lot of stuff. Most of the time, the pioneers of industry, they were tinkering, they were playing around. They didn't figure it out until they figured it out. That's Steve Jobs says, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. I remember this interview by Steve Jobs, how he kept on saying he would sell 1,000,000 Macs. I think 1,000,000 units of Mac or something. And it took him about either 3 or 5 years to achieve that dream. So it's why I'm still doing this, just in case you're seeing this at the later time. I'm still doing this without seeing like proper results, but I'm enjoying the process. And it's unknown, like I said, because I started with, I started with very, very funny. Just go at night, talk about my day, how I love my entire day. Later, I transitioned to taking the camera with me almost everywhere I go, which forced me to bring out ideas, spill out more ideas. So I'm just letting you know that I myself, I'm currently going to do something that I'm not well, I'm not sure it's going to be successful, but I know that while I'm taking it a step at a time, it's a journey, so it is. It's my journey, it's my story to tell. Yeah, it's good. For some reason, my YouTube gave my copyright, all of my videos copyright strike. And I'm yet to figure out why, because this is a video I had in an open space. So if I had this video in an open space, why will I get copyright strike? Or what? So I'll figure it out. Alright, let's go. What's that? Two more. To the end of 7. Damn. Fuck. Damn. Oh boy. Oh boy. Fuck. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Alright, so today I was going to prepare to create content. Yeah? Yeah, still listening. Alright, just very soon. I also go out. So when it goes out, just go and delete one from the system. Okay, so and also on the Notion, fixed update the statuses. Okay, so where I'm going to is the fact that there's going to be a lot to the point where you're going to know how you arrange it. I'll shoot for shooting sake.
the only thing I want you to be very, very aware of are the series. Now, what Salome? What series do I have?
What
Series do I have?
becoming
Okay, becoming him is the entire thing. Okay. What else?
MM,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hybrid training,
Members put down that okay, hybrid fitness.
building my startup,
Okay, what else? The whole idea of 75 hard is to promote discipline.
very challenge.
It's a challenge. I made a video at the gym today talking about 75 hard. I want to make it again in the house, so it's a mixture of and other things, B-rolls, swimming. So this is going to go as a series because I've done it. This is my fourth time, so this is like I'll call it like season 4. So what I'm going to is that I want to be able to either pass a message, especially with my MMA, right? Either my fuck ups or something. My fuck ups, my observations, what I've learned so far. Habit fitness, maybe not so much because I did do that at the gym. I intentionally tell people about fitness on my videos. Then I'm building my startup. I want to you may have to watch them, figure out which particular points would. Did I send any video of any girl that was talking about how to make men more attractive? So there's a way she repurposes her videos, right? This is your normal portrait video. That's 9 by 16. This is your landscape video, 16 by 9. So whenever we say repurpose, they always crop into this. They zoom it in so that it ends up becoming 9 by 16. But in some cases, if you see that it doesn't go out well because I was too close to the camera, then what this girl does is she's going to put this 16 by 9 to appear like this. Yes. So she will not put the point. What is this guy going to benefit from this video across? For example, is it can be how to attract more girls. What's that?
Oh, if you mention someone's name, do you call?
It depends.
No, you didn't say it.
It depends in the
Just how
context.
far Harrison.
You don't know who Harrison is. Harrison is not in my content. Yes, Harrison is not in my he's not in my content. So that's the case where okay, last you know, beep it out. Beep it out. Okay, so in this video, let's talk about goals and the kind of goals people set. Sometimes makes them miserable. Not because the goal is either too high or too small, but sometimes the goal doesn't fit their life or their approach. So instead of setting goals, right, I'm a firm believer that you should consider lifestyle design instead of setting goals. So what's the difference? The difference is you are actively looking at what you want, right? The kind of life you want in every area of your life, rather than just one area of your life. Because when people set goals, quote unquote, most of the content out there tells people to set goals in one area of their life, which I strongly believe that's not going to work for them in the long term. That's why I see people who have financial goals, only financial goals, just to discover that 10 years down the line, right, while they were achieving this financial goal, their health went to a mess, their relationship went to a mess. They probably married or they have a healthy relationship, but they didn't establish that with their kids. So at lifestyle design, you're actively thinking of the kind of life you want to live holistically. and you are adjusting your ways right now to make that dream a possibility. So, for example, now somebody who says, "I want to become what? A millionaire," looks for a business that makes him a millionaire, right? Good, like achieve his goal. So when he says, I want to become a millionaire," while he's dating, while he's going out and having, he's dating quality women. He knows quite a number of quality women, and he's very comfortable with women. I mean, that's still a goal, because you can have a woman beside you, but you still may not be comfortable with women. You may have some money and still not be comfortable with women, which to me is quite interesting, quite funny, right? So now, somebody who has that goal of being comfortable with women, being very, very free with women, and being rich, he might pick the kind of business that would make him interact with women. He might pick a kind of business that will make him socialize. So they'll still get to the same financial goal, but this time around, somebody took a vehicle that would fit him. So now, what other thing would they like to add to it? He might say he wants to live in a certain country. So now, the only caveat here is that it's not like one is better than one. It's about, if you are picking anyone, you have to be aware of the downsides to anyone and which does it fit. For example, if you want to pick the one goal approach, that means you don't care about other areas of your life. You're not bothered about other areas of your life, which is fine, which is okay. But you should understand that. Now, for the person who is going for the one that is well-rounded, you should know that the sacrifice that he refused to make because he's setting multiple goals will end up making him sacrifice time, right? What that means is, if he's trying to achieve a certain financial goal, right, in a certain period, the person who has just that one goal, he's pouring in more energy into that one goal. What that means is he will get there faster. But see everything as energy, frequency, and vibration. Ever since I got that into my head, things have completely changed. So think about this, right? Somebody spends 5 hours making a YouTube video, well, a nice edit and everything. And another person spends 5 hours making maybe 6 different videos for YouTube. Now, so they've poured in equal energy into it. Now, the person with the highly edited videos will have nice retention, but the person with the 6 videos he's getting a different level of grounds. He's probably getting the ability to not script videos. He's probably getting that ability to speak from a flow state. So oh my Jesus, no audio. Jesus,
Ow!
God. Ah! You're holding your head.
Over 5 minutes of recording. Not just recording there's this English how to use of intense recording of emotional recording.
God! Let me take a break. So I'm currently going into the bank to resolve some issues so I can make some transactions. I need to pay for my laptop. I need to pay for some certain things. So yeah, I'm still yet to record my short form videos though. Still yet. I mean, when I was making the long form video, I discovered that the audio was cut off. That thing pissed me off ridiculously. So it pissed me off ridiculously, but I mean, it's part of it, right? So now I think there's a need for an extra system so that Nan can review, repurpose. She can do some edits by herself. She doesn't have to wait for me to put some things in place for her and all of that. So that is still on the line. And on the other hand, I asked my guy to tell me how much it is to get like a CPU tower that has a graphics card, an old one, I don't mind. The reason for that is to help compress the videos, and
if they're not videos to compress, these are what somebody else can use to like do some quick edits. If you get what I mean. So right now I can't do anything. The video has to go out. They had to use my iPhone to make a couple of Instagram stories. So let's just go here. Let's just go. So everything going as planned. I want to improve my storytelling tips. I want to tell a story of. I want to tell a story of how I was small, and my aunt handed me donuts. Right? I want my mom crying that my aunt beat out of my donuts, and she beat the middle of my donuts. So it got my mom all hyped up that she can't do that. Why would she do that? She was yelling, right? Then when my aunt came around, because my mom too followed my arguments. My aunt came around, she said, "What do I mean?" I showed her the donuts, how there was a hole in the donuts, and she probably showed my mom that no, it's called a ring donut, and it has a hole in it. That's why it's called a ring donut. So back then, I couldn't detect that. First of all, I was too small to know what a ring donut was. Two, I was much more focused on the hole in the donut than the donut itself. The entire lesson is that people would rather focus on that little negativity or negative aspect of some things that are there, and forgetting the fact that there is a larger portion of positivity there. So some people focus on the ring in the donut and they feel miserable in life, focusing on that, while some other people focus on the donut itself, right? And they get to enjoy the donut, while the ones who focus on the whole, they eat the donut like they feel bad for it. Well, I think at that moment I felt bad for the donuts, but over time I knew better and realized that it is called a ring donut. So it's not like anybody beat for my donuts. So basically that's the story. That's the message I want to push, which I'm going to say. And then, like I said, you basically heard when Nan was like, "Oh, my storytelling tips are very bad." I said, yes, I know it's very bad, but the whole idea is I'm supposed to tell stories every single day. I'm fully aware that by day 100, I should be able to have a moral story, a moral lesson, and create a story immediately. And be able to give a nice presentation. So stories, right, are different levels to storytelling. You can have storytelling that's well scripted, but if the narrator does not give the nice vibe to it, the point can be missed. If the message is not rightly conveyed, or if the story is not perfectly brought together, the thing can be mixed. So, like I said, and my stories, I don't want them scripted, right? The honest truth is that if you script your stories, over time you get very good at scripting stories. But once you get very good at randomly freestyling stories, is what there must have been a lot of noise in my audio, So I'm just saying that now. So, but if I get good at freestyling stories, then I could just hop on the, just grab a mic. You can just grab a mic and then say something and feel happy about it. So I got carried away. I had this dude who was saying that hellfire is reality. And after studying spirituality for a while, I've come to the conclusion that heaven and hell, they don't really exist in the way that a lot of people make them sound like they exist, right? Hell as a suffering is most likely what it means, and heaven in itself is bliss. It's not where you go to after death. It's where you are in the moment, right? In the moment. I think that was why a particular book of the Bible, I think, is it Timothy? A particular book of the Bible which exists in the Catholic Bible talks about how heaven is everywhere. Heaven is in the now. Heaven is not this thing that you go to after death. Heaven is not this thing that you see. Or heaven is not a reward. Heaven is now. While hell, which is the opposite of it, is you thinking in the past, you in the future, you being worried, you being over-calculating, so which causes suffering. So, and I'm saying this because if you look at all other, let's zoom out and first of all realize that your religion is not the best religion. Like every religion has a point of view. It's an approach towards life. When you begin to see it that way, and begin to study other people's religions, you'll get the message of life. You'll get the message if you are open to seeing it, because other religions give a certain perspective, right? When the Christians said, when the Christians talk about how God I think changed the language of people, how God changed the language of the people to speak different languages. That's the same reason, but it's different languages, same message. I'm saying this because just in case you're somebody who is very religious and you feel like your religion is the best religion, you should come to realize that nope, all religions are built to convey the exact same message. And if you don't get it, then you should probably investigate through another religion, then come back to your religion. It took me years to get the message, and even if I give it to you now, you may not understand it, but I'm looking for more ways to articulate those ideas. Talk to you soon.
So a lot of people achieve their goals, but they are very miserable. Something very, very shocking. A lot of rich men are married to lousy women. A lot of rich men have health problems. You see, there are people who get their goals quite alright, but inside they are miserable because a lot of them don't understand the idea of lifestyle design. You can look it up. Lifestyle design is just simply you knowing exactly how you want to live as a whole. That is your health wise, your relationship wise, your money wise. You want to make sure that you understand how you want to live, and now you begin to work your way back to how you want to live. If you want to get married to a feminine woman, good, you know how to think, you know how to act yourself as a masculine man. If you want to be rich, you know the business to start. And why this is the best approach is because you are working towards this vision that you feel is your definition of success, instead of somebody who is chasing a goal that is most likely given to him by somebody else, which is aka just get rich. Now he's rich, he has ignored his health, he has ignored relationship. And the worst part is when he gets to be successful as money wise, he sets a bigger goal, making himself more miserable. So that's requirement. I think you should all look into the concept of lifestyle design. If you want me to break it like into proper steps, just comment lifestyle design in the comment section. I'll make a separate video for that. Talk to you soon. This is my. So I think ladies now need to understand that the guys are tired. I was having a conversation with one of my friends who says that in 2025, right, any lady who's talking to, who's not giving him that effort that he's giving her, he's cutting her off. So it's normal, right? Now, immediately, I'm speaking to another guy, they don't even know each other, and he says the exact same thing. And he dawned on me that truly, guys are really, really tired, right? So, and I tell guys, if a lady is not giving you the same energy you're giving back to her, please cut her off. It's 2025, right? It's okay to like chase, but if the chase is not yielding any results, if she's just giving you bills upon bills, what's the point? So ladies, please understand that if men are saying they're tired. And what you can do is be straight up front. If he's trying to know who you are, you to put in that effort, return the gesture that he's giving to you. So guys, thank you very much. I don't have anything much to say. It's just that as a guy, only go for ladies who choose you, not the other way around. Alright, so that's it.